Dude, Pegasus, the Kyle Benjamin. Am I saying that wrong, James?
Kyle
Benjamin down there?
Bingaman.
Kyle,
Bingaman.
dude, you have to. This is nuts, bro. It's Christmas time. I hope you guys are enjoying the holidays. Today we have the amazing James from Plunder World. Let them know where they can find you, James.
You can find me at plunderworld.com, or you can find me on Instagram at plunderworldcards. And it is the holidays, and I know you got that weird uncle. You got that crazy coworker. Let me tell you, you get them a pack of these, stuff them in the corner, they'll be your best friend in an hour. Okay?
Yes, I freaking love it. Yo, and this episode goes out to Jacob's Hex Ladder. Jacob's Hex Ladder on YouTube. Thank you so much for liking, subscribing, and sharing the show and commenting. Mad love and respect to every single one of you guys. Stay tuned. It's a freaking good one. I put that in the
Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid.
I promise you, this is not a political podcast.
Jump from the deep end of the pool, set up the mood. Paranoi Radio, set up the mood. Paranoi Radio, set up the mood. Paranoi Radio, set up the mood. 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 Set up the mood.
Let's make the pauses into the bank of knowledge. Welcome back to the Trebles Show. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I am Trebles Garcia, and I want to thank the Lord for allowing me to be here today. And I want to thank every single one of you for allowing me to enter your space. Hey, it's a long freaking day. I've been recording all freaking day. You're actually my third recording, but I'm not complaining because I love doing this for everybody. Mostly I do it for myself. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I want to remind you that the most important thing that you can do for the show today is word of mouth. Check us out at Paranoi. No. Check us out at YouTube, because we're on YouTube now, and the show is no longer called Paranoi Radio Podcast, but you can still find us. You can find remnants of all of that stuff on Instagram, on Rumble, absolutely free, and on YouTube. Like, share, and subscribe. I think it's over here. It might be down here. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. And do not forget to drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. That allows other people to enjoy the show as much as I enjoy making it. Have an amazing episode lined up. So let's jump in from the deep end of the pool and set the freaking mood. My next special guest has been here before. This is his third coming. Oh, yeah. Dude, this guy's on fire, bro. Yo, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give a warm welcome to James for Plunder World card game. What's up? What's up? What's up, bro?
Hey, thanks for having me on. I'm so excited. It's been a blast watching you grow and turn into an action star and just get your voice heard. And I mean, it's multilingual, multi-powerful, and just multi-muscular. I love it, man.
Oh, yeah, man. Keep the guns, man. That's fucking great. All right, bro. Enough about me, though, man. You're kicking ass. You were recently on the White Rabbit podcast, and I heard you guys were fucking electric, bro. I shouldn't be cursing, but you were, man. Mad shout-outs to Rabbit for doing that, and for giving you his platform. Dude, and you're out there every single day. You were telling me before we started recording that you're out there actually on conventions, moving away to other different cities, that you have fans to go see you now. What? Talk to me, bro.
Yeah, I'm that weird little virus that's just growing into these little Pokemon card shows, these sports card shows, and they keep letting me in, and the fan base is growing. I mean, the virus is spreading. I get access to all these wonderful people that are looking for something different, looking for something unique. And you'd be surprised how, I mean, so many of them are just thirsty for information. They deep down inside, they know they're being lied to. They know they've heard the wrong raw deal at school or on the news. And hey, here's a fun way to collect the apocalypse. And that's exactly what I provide, and that's what people enjoy.
Man, you dropped bombs today. First of all, you compared yourself to an electric murder panther. That was that was awesome. I don't know if you, oh my God, I don't know where your brain's at. Second, you said, what'd you say? A fun way to collect the apocalypse. Psh. We all know it's coming, right? It's like, look, bro, in my day job, I work as a sales rep for the electrical field, the electrical industry. And I could build you a panel, I could build you a load center, I could tell you what lighting you need. I'm in that sense, in that side of life, I know my stuff. And there's something that's unique to that industry. Everybody needs power. So it's something that if you get into it in the right time, you're gonna be there forever. Same thing with you. If you are selling and repackaging as a collectible item, the apocalypse, oh, bro, you're making it. It's something we all know it's gonna happen. We're all bound to be there, right? We're enduring it now, so might as well collect the fuck out of it with Plunder World.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a negative guy. I'm not. I mean, I like to fish. I like to go bowling. I like to, do home repair. I mean, I like to grill, but I really have been just steeped in crypto history and parapolitics since a wee lad. And I just decided to use the skills I have in video and photo production to make trading cards I always wanted. And it's a roller coaster ride because Series 2 just came out. I mean, it is fresh as monkey's breath, man. And the response has been phenomenal.
I think we all know Monkey's Breath is the freshest ever. They should make a toothpaste called Monkey's Breath. Oh, yeah.
It's the reason I go to the zoo, brother. So I'm telling you, like our good friend Tam, she's loved her cards. She was one of my first orders, and she's been raving about them. And I'll tell you a quick thing. At some of these shows,
shout outs Tam from Level Playing Home. Oh yeah,
man,
beautiful
what a lady. And then so at these shows, there's this phenomenon where a group of dudes will get around a table and they'll spend a lot of money on one pack of sports cards or Pokemon cards, and they'll get their cameras out and they're crowding the table and they're slowly peeling it open and they're going through it one card at a time. And if they get one of those special, hard to find cards, you hear this loud roar from across the room and everybody's looking. Well, what I tell people is that every one of my cards, when you read them, will make you do the exact same thing. All right?
Oh, yeah.
Because there is just pure steel and fire on the back of every one of these cards with information that just reshapes the way you look at everything from media to technology to just the origins of our own country. And that's my goal. I want to give that powerful effect.
Yo, have you ever visualized that, bro? I'm just saying because, bro, have you ever gone to like a moment in space, in time, in your mind where you visualized the moment you're in the middle of a purchase, somebody doing a transaction for one of your cards, and there's 100 people around your thing, and there's phones out, and then you're there, and then he's cracking open one of your cards, looking for that famous relic, that special edition card. I do it all the time. I visualize it all the time. The calls, the cameras, the lighting, the me pointing at the camera and it shifts to this side and then there's 100 people and there's 1 million on YouTube. And you see what I'm talking about? Like visualizing where you are, bro. The stardom, dude.
Well,
it's amazing.
I'm not a star chaser. I mean, I look at it as the opposite end. I want the people opening the packs to have that experience. I mean, I made this, one of my taglines at the shows is that my trading cards make you collectible. They make you worth something.
Whoa.
Okay. They give you something to talk about. They give you context when you know you're being lied to. And no, I don't do the cryptids. I don't do the UFOs. I just use autobiographies, legal documents, government records, and I pack every card full of information. I want people to have that feeling. I'm not a star chaser. But damn, if I can, if it's something I can do that I love, then hopefully I can, make a living at it. But
that's beautiful.
Yeah, what's the expression? Fame, fortune, a Jedi craves not these things. You got to have that Zen mindset.
Well, I am a I'm a Sith Lord, to be honest with you. I like the dark side. Woo! I think I love it. Yo, all right. So we're here on the third time that you're here. Last time you came, you dropped some bombs, bro. What you got for me, bro? Put out one of those cards again and give me some knowledge.
Okay. Well, I got a couple. I'll give you some new stuff to. This is kind of like an exclusive just for y'all.
Oh, I freaking love it. Thank you.
But first, let me show off. This is the new box, the brand new box. This is Series 2. And it's, I mean, this blows Series 1 out of the water. It's, again, same deal. We have 90 subjects. They each have 3 cards per subject with a different part of the story on the back. And we got 9 also new shiny cards. But this time we got some guest artists. I got some other artists to contribute this time. I got 5 talented folks to contribute artwork for at least one of the subjects. And so, for anybody new to this sort of thing, every box has got packs of cards. There's 36 in every box. And so I have subjects about all kinds of stuff. And this particular subject is about a court case where the state of Wisconsin was going to decide how an Amish family should educate their children. And it went all the way to the Supreme Court. And so I can't tell you everything about Wisconsin versus Yoder on one card, which is why
you did it in 3.
we have 3 cards with a different part of the story on the back. But each part of the story is self-contained, so you get a good summary on each card, but there's so many extra facts that I can't just include it on one card. So I do all the artwork, either photography, a combination of collage work, and a whole bunch of Photoshop and Illustrator, but I don't use any artificial intelligence. But we cover subjects about the Masonic Lodge in control of Italy during the years of lead.
Whoa.
I think that's foundational because every young learner needs to realize that secret societies are still in effect and they still have a presence. And then,
yes, they do.
There's an example. I mean, I actually make the food labels and make a can of worms in my garage. So I do all the photography. I do everything and anything I can to make this original and stand out. And then there's some modern subjects too. We're going to get into Ghislaine Maxwell's daddy.
Oh, look at that.
Had connections to the Mossad.
That picture's fire. I love the little pizza emblem on the bottom.
Well, okay. And there's some Easter eggs on all the cards. And then things get a little spicy. We are going to cover some tragedies and some influence in our own government through foreign governments, if you get my drift.
I like it.
Yep.
I like it.
What good is a set of trading cards without some shinies? So every shiny has a theme, and all the shiny cards detail psychological experiments that have made us all better slaves.
Whoa,
So
better slaves, huh?
Well, yeah. I mean, this profiles the peer pressure experiment about people studying the length of lines, also known as the Ash line study. I'm not going to go through all of them, but there's some interesting ones. It's kind of hard to see with the full, but this is about the famous Milgram experiment, and I made a hand out of many smaller hands because each one of us is one of those hands pushing that button, electrocuting people.
Wow.
And that's one I'm pretty proud of. It's a photo I took at a carnival, and then I just jazzed it up with some Photoshop and artificial fire. And this is about the tragic story in Canada about the little boy who was forced to live as a girl. But these cards are not for little tiny Pokemon collectors. This is muscular firepower, like electric acid lava to your face.
Oh yeah. Electric acid lava, bro. It's both and electrocutes you at the same time. It's like melting you, burning you at the same time. Right. Yes.
And then, I mean, a little later, I don't know if you got any questions or whatever, but a little later, I can show you some preview art for Series 3, which I'm already working on.
I would love to get into the art, but right before we do that, let's go with USS Liberty. Please break some down.
Well, I think, I don't have a book up here with me, but there's several books that detail this rather unfortunate event. But during the 6 Days War, Israel was they detected the presence of a U.S. naval ship and it was the USS Liberty, which is a communications vessel. They had some defenses, but nothing. I mean, it's not an aircraft carrier. It's not a destroyer, and they're monitoring communications there in the area during the war. And the Israeli Air Force flew over a couple of times, and there's plenty of reports from survivors of the incident on the Liberty that could see the pilot. They could see the identification marks on the plane, and they thought it
Whoa.
was just a friendly flyover.
Mm.
And so they hoisted the American flag on the ship, and it was a bright, clear day. There was no way you could mistake the ship for any other kind of ship. And after a couple of passes, the planes fired on the ship, and
Whoa.
then other watercraft were brought in to sink it with torpedoes.
What? Wait, Israeli?
Yeah, the Israelis shot and attempted to sink the USS Liberty.
Shut the front door.
Oh yeah, it was tragic. Now, the particulars you can find in many books. Most famously, the captain aboard, James. His last name escapes me, but he wrote a book documenting what happened on the Liberty.
It's real.
Yeah,
It's fucking real.
Yeah, it's totally real. And there was a lot of this is where it gets a little well, I mean, it's tragic, but this is where it gets very conspiratorial, because the American public was never told about it. In fact, it was squashed. Lyndon Johnson, the president at the time, did not acknowledge the incident. And in fact, the captain was given a Medal of Honor for his bravery, but it was not presented by the president. It was presented in a private, quiet, secluded ceremony on a naval base in a park. And, no fanfare, no nothing. And he and the other survivors were ordered by higher command to never talk of this incident.
Wow.
The Israelis claimed that they thought it was possibly an Egyptian ship. But there's a whole bunch of evidence and recordings and material recorded by the Liberty and translated by the communications officers that one of the reasons to disrupt the Liberty is that they would have heard the communications of of Israel invading the Golan Heights. And in fact, it was after the Liberty was sank, or at least disrupted. It didn't sink. The Golan Heights was taken, and the Liberty would have heard that. So, it's a pretty inconvenient piece of history, but that's what this is all about.
We take so much pride on saying that touch one of our soldiers, touch one of our ships, and it's war. And we've seen war. I mean, we don't want war. But if you attack one of our ships or one of our military service members, someone else will be raising your kids. And I quote, that's nuts, man. That's freaking nuts.
And I'm not even really hitting all the scary details. There's so many more scarier details about that story, about how insidious the influence and the control of American messaging came from Israeli influence. And I mean, I don't like the fact that an outside government gets to not only attack one of our ships, but decide how we're to react to it. I don't think I don't think any other country would allow that.
No other country, and shouldn't allow that. First of all, and second of all, why do you think I changed the name of the show? And why do you think I repostured in the mega movement? I'm saying it like that because it's not. It's now that I know. Okay. So I'm saying, guys, I promise you no more political comments here. I promised, and I'm gonna keep that promise. But I repostured for a reason. Now, if you want to collect and see any freaking political stuff, you're going to have to go to Instagram and stay on Instagram, because I refuse to continue to divide my people. I want to talk about what makes humankind beautiful again. instead of talking about what makes us rotten inside or dividing us. You know, quite frankly, bro, it's depressing. It's demoralizing. You know, but thank you. The USS Liberty would have shifted our reality. I'm not a Nazi sympathizer. I am not a Hitler sympathizer. I want to be that very fucking clear. But there's things that were said during the time that were onto something. That's all I'm gonna say.
You don't have to say it. It's been written. I mean, all the important players told you what they did. It's in a book. It's in a document. Read some Anthony Sutton. He'll tell you all about how Wall Street helped finance the rise of the Third Reich.
I can't believe this.
Plenty of books like Edwin Black's book about the transfer agreement, how the Zionist Party of Germany collaborated with the Nazis to jointly explore Palestine to resettle German Jews in the 1930s.
Up, dude.
It's all there, and it's one of those things where it's not that knowledge is hidden; it's that it's occulted. Okay, and that's one of the things that. Like I don't believe in, like, you know, black magic, put on a hood, let's sprinkle blood on an altar and worship Satan. No. Okay. It's cool. I mean, it sounds cool in a metal song, but it's not real. Okay. But there is a thing that is similar to magic. And what I mean by that is, like, you put something on the internet or you make a post on a social media account, and all of a sudden maybe 15,000 little hearts light up under your post. And you think all of a sudden you're important. Now that's a magic trick. Okay. You have just fallen under a magic spell. Another one that we can all relate to is that we go to work to earn pieces of paper that really are worth nothing, to buy things we don't need, and we do it until we die. That is a magic trick. Okay. So magic is real in a form of like psychological expression. And if you could just see through the magic trick, then maybe you'll be a better person. You'll understand what true value is, how, you know, a kind word from somebody really resonates when, if you're too focused on the paper, if you're too focused on the likes, where you would otherwise dismiss it. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. It makes total sense. I recently said a post and I said, what was it that I said? I said, sometimes I do this for the level of the sport. Most of us that podcast, at least in my community, most of us, what happens is we fold the moment people stop applauding. Right. That's a problem. That's a problem, because you tend to forget that you're the artist and that you're not always going to be on top. You start comparing yourself to other people or making excuses when not to post. And in all reality, I just finished talking to someone right now that she was a Fed, and we're talking about how, in all reality, all it is people love to get entertained. Sometimes, bro, it's in front of you. Almost every single time. The truth is right in front of you, but you refuse to consume the truth because you don't like the way it makes you feel. That's a fucking problem. That's magic. Yeah,
it is. You're absolutely right. That relates to, like, so one of the things I've always been interested in is advertising psychology and how it gets people to act. And one of the experiments I like to do is I'll watch a commercial with the volume off, and I'll see, okay, what are they visually trying to tell us? And then if I see it again, I'll turn the volume up, and I get flaming angry. And two things. So Chevrolet had a series of ads a couple of years ago, and the theme is that they would bring in a group of regular people to look at their latest model of car and get their reaction.
I like that.
So it's an SUV, it's a sedan, you know, it's a whatever. Now, you would think that as a consumer, you'd be interested in, like, facts, like, you know, mileage, performance, you know, room, capacity, whatever. No, all these people did is they come in and they go, oh, that looks sick. Or that's what I'm talking about. Or, oh, I can see myself in that. They tell you nothing about the vehicle. It's all just aesthetic. And now this is the part that got me angry, is that there's a reason they have all those people in that commercial. It's because that's what Chevrolet thinks of you. That's who they think you are. You're ignorant and you only care about superficial details. So pay attention. When I say it's right in front of you, it is right in front of you and they're laughing at you. And it's not just commercials, it's school, it's the people that represent you, and it's a lot of times the people that pay you.
That's poetic. That is a trailer right there. Round of applause, please. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
That
I
was
love
nice.
advertising. I mean, everybody likes to talk about Edward Bernays. I'm sure you're familiar. He's the reason why we eat bacon for breakfast. He's the reason why men wear wristwatches. He's the reason that got women, hey, check it out. He's the reason why women started smoking. He is the reason why planned obsolescence was included in auto manufacturing. So you have the latest model, the latest model. But Edward Bernays was a bit of a huckster. He was a charlatan. His influences are scarier. And you touched on it earlier about things that make you depressed. And I'm here to give you some optimism. So, first of all,
I love it.
you got to get broken down. Okay. You got to fall down the well or the rabbit hole, whatever illusion you want to use. And so Bernays' major influences were a man named Walter Lippmann. And Walter Lippmann wrote a book called Public Opinion. And that is a very depressing book because he formulates the popularity of using the stereotype as a way to mass control giant crowds of people. And that's a very depressing concept because one-on-one, you can reason with somebody. You can communicate. You can find common ground. You might be able to influence them a little bit. But you can't do that with a crowd. Logic and reason don't work. Crowds work on emotion and flow and popularity. And so what's the easiest way to stir up a crowd? Inject a stereotype. Okay? So you got crowds of people like in any time of conflict or war. Take World War One. You know how many thousands of Germans that lived in America had their homes surrounded by other Americans yelling and screaming at them, blaming them for what was going on in Europe? These are just people living in America. They have no sympathies towards Germany. They maybe they have family there, but it's not their fault. But thanks to the propaganda created by the World War One Public Relations Department, there was a lot of anti-German sentiment. And Walter Lippmann worked for the World War One Public Relations Committee. And guess who else worked on it? Edward Bernays. Okay. Now, that's a topic that we're going to explore in series 3. I'm getting to a point. I'm sorry. So
Yeah.
The other thing that's depressing is reading somebody like that Canadian Marshall McLuhan. He came up with the concept that the medium itself is the message. And it's a very poignant topic to explore because you listen to a radio, you interact with it differently than something on the television. You interact with that differently than something on the phone. You interact with that differently with, any other thing that creates a medium. And that's the message. It's not about what you hear or what you see. It's the fact that it's on TV, it's on the radio. And if you want to be on it or you want to be a part of it, you integrate that medium into your life. You become that medium. Okay.
Wow.
And that's depressing because I don't want to think people are like that. I don't want to think that we're easily programmable by stereotypes. I don't want to believe that we want to be a part of a device or a medium. And that's the depressing part. But
they've created, sorry if I interrupted.
Please.
They've created the perfect jungle, the ecosystem for people to want that. The majority for us to want that. Through other programs. Yeah.
The majority of children, what do they want as a career? Oh, I want to be famous. Well, famous at what? Just being famous? What kind of career path is that? I think 80% of the executives that seek out some sort of counseling or psychological counseling for depression, 80% of them, they claim that they just really don't know how to do their job. They're incompetent, and that's why they're depressed. They have no purpose. They have no inner light. They have no drive. They have no anything. And it's this lack of purpose. It's this lack of skill set. It's this mindless drone-like existence that's driving depression.
1000%. They lack them. You know, I did a presentation on this show a while ago with my boy Chef and Code, and we went and we spoke about how I'm lying to you. I did it on Biblical Hitman. That's where I did it, and we spoke about depression, anxiety, you know, these characteristics that you're mentioning right now, and how they're very popular now, very common, like autism, everything, all that stuff. And I'm like, you know, these are just new terms for the stuff that in the 1700s, in the 1500s, in the 1100s, all of these societies and empires and kingdoms used to call possession, jinns. So it was like it gets to into a spiritual realm. Like every single society, every single empire at its climax has seen these things and named it different things. And all the characteristics that we try to suppress with our pharmaceutical companies, like depression, anxiety, autism, and many different things that we suffer, endure every single day, are born with sometimes, are demonic attachments, demonic entities. And they are all influenced by what we consume. It's directly correlated to what we consume. It's like a beautiful connection. If you guys look into it, it's nuts, man. How ancient societies used to call it, and then like the Maya, for example, they used to call it upon themselves. They didn't think that possession and having all those fucked up emotions and chain of thoughts were bad. They called it upon themselves to be that. They loved it. They wanted to be written like a horse by a freaking demonic entity. It's huge, bro. It was nuts.
Well,
but anyway, going off topics.
No,
yeah,
that's
very
fine.
dark.
You know, pre-revolutionary warfare, soldiers that were depressed, they used to have a word for it. It was called nostalgia. Interesting, huh? Yeah.
Break that down. What? Wait. Boom, 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 boom.
Well,
Rewind.
the idea is that you miss the home. You miss the home front. You miss the family. You miss your old life. You're nostalgic. Okay? That's what depression was called in warfare in the past.
Interesting.
Now it's been reworded. It changed into shell shock. It's been called what else? Post-traumatic stress disorder. But same symptoms, just a new paint job. Okay.
That's fucking nuts, bro. You know what sells the most now in marketing?
Beer?
Nostalgia.
Oh, well, yeah, nostalgia. Your dadgum right. It's I mean, God, dude, the 1980s have been 50 years ago. Can we stop? Can we stop?
Yo, the 1980s had the best pop and rock music of all time.
I know.
You can don't
like,
how dare thee. How dare thee.
I know. Look, I'm an 80s kid, but I mean, look, even I have had enough of the 80s, okay? It's like, okay,
Yeah,
I get
man.
it. I mean,
can't
we
listen
can
to
bring
music
back
except
other
as
decades.
long as it's 80s or 90s music. It's the only type of music I listen to. Unfortunately.
That just tells you how stale, corporate, and stiff all the later decades were. You know? I mean, so the positive, okay? You have to do deep dives into depressing subjects, but you have to challenge yourself. And it happens in faith as well. I'm sure you've encountered naysayers and atheists and agnostics that say some very, very knowledgeable or at least convincing stories and information that kind of shake the foundations of your faith a little bit. And to deny that, I think you'd make yourself a liar. I've felt that. Okay.
Word.
But that's a good thing. You have to be challenged. If it was presented to you on a plate, wrapped in a package with a bow, hey, no problem. Well, then where's the work in that? Where's the soul searching in that? It's tied to the idea of why evil exists. The reason evil exists is so we have something to compare good to. Because if everything was good, we wouldn't know what suffering is. We wouldn't know what pure joy is.
I tell my oldest all the time. She walks out of the room and she turns on all the freaking lights to go to the restroom at 3 a.m. Mind you, I'm up at 3 a.m. because I wake up, I have to clock in at 4:30. And I ask her, why do you turn on the lights? She goes, because I'm afraid something's going to pop off. I'll pop in front of me. And I tell her, do you think that Satan is going to pop in front of you looking like a demon? Do you actually think he's going to come out looking ugly? He's going to come at you when it's broad daylight, beautiful, in a beautiful package, wearing the most beautiful clothes, wearing the most beautiful. Why? Because he doesn't want to scare you away. He wants to fucking devour you. All right,
Yep.
get that through your freaking brain. And she's like, "Oh my god!" It's just, when I'm showering, I think everybody's done this. Everybody's, but I think all of you guys over there, everybody in the back. Tell me if I have. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. You're in the shower and you have soap in your eyes, and you're like, you want to open your eyes fast because you feel like something's watching you.
Dude, man, you take some wild showers, dude. No, I think the devil's going to appear to you in like Sydney Sweeney in a bikini. So,
Please,
yeah,
don't.
I'll
I'm not trying to
risk it.
invoke
Just
you, but oh my
test me,
goodness,
right?
man.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yo. Anyway, talking about positive stuff. We're about to hit the 30 mark right now. We could push it a couple more minutes. Yo, I do want to get into this. What's next? What's
Well-
next with the stuff? Pull another card out or something. You know what? No, let's jump into the juicy part of this show. I like to call this the juicy part. Throughout the entire thing that you have, your presentation, both series of your cards, what was the hardest day getting to this point right now? Followed by, what's your favorite emotion?
Hardest day. Hardest day was my I guess the hardest day was showing. Okay, before I did all my printing, I handmade every card. And I made stacks of them to send to people that I respect. And I no longer have my father, and my father was he was always into this kind of stuff. We could talk for hours about this kind of stuff, and I really wish I was able to share this with him. But my sister also is a part of it, and that's wonderful. She appreciates it. I guess the hardest day is the very first time that I did a show, and I'm literally like, okay, this is it. The only thing that matters is if somebody sees what I've made and is willing to look me in the eye and give me a handful of cash. And that right there is, you can plan, you can make spreadsheets, you can advertise, you can drum up all the support and talk about potential and growth and cost and whatever, and then 5 years goes by and you haven't made anything. What matters is when somebody sees what you've done and they go, this is great, here, I am giving you this money, and this money doesn't represent a purchase. This money represents satisfaction, trust, promise, hope, everything. Okay. So this isn't about money. It's about an act of kindness that somebody does just for you. And the very first hour that show started, my very first person that showed up at the table didn't just get a pack. They bought an entire box. And that was the hardest day, and it had the most anxiety. I didn't know what I was doing. And I still don't know what I'm doing, kind of. I guess is like my favorite emotion. I guess my favorite emotion is related to stress. It's pressure, if you would call that an emotion.
You're the second person today that says that. But
Pressure.
the one before you, shout out to Megan from the Infernal Machine. She said, fear. I was like, damn,
Yes.
bro.
Yes. You've got, I mean, look, you've got, yeah, you need to be safe when you drive. You need to be safe when you hunt. You need to be safe when you cook. But the reality is that when it comes to taking calculated risks, you need to take every one of them. Okay? You've got one life, and you need to go whole hog, and you need to do it. You need to find whatever it is, that fire in your gut that comes only from you, not from a boss, not from a product you don't believe in, not from a service that you're half-heartedly doing, but something you actually care about. And you find that fire, and doors will open. You'll get confidence, but it takes pressure. Okay, you got to you got to love it like a baby, because in the dark, when you're all alone and you're working on your stuff, there's nobody around you. It's just you in your head. And if you can't get used to that feeling, if you can't stand the idea of not knowing what other people think, then I don't know what to tell you. You're lost. But I think that's how you find out who you are, whether it's training for some athletic competition, whether it's preparing to present, perform in front of an audience in a concert. Like, man, the amount of guts. And I mean, imagine you and your friends are in a band and you're traveling to city with the money you have in your pocket, and you're going to shows where there's 3 people at a bar. Imagine the kind of confidence and failure you have to risk just to have that kind of guts. You know what I mean? It's pressure.
I do it every single time I turn on that Zoom. Every single time I press record. Every single time the light's off. Every single time they're running late. Every single time. It doesn't get easier. But when you have one person that leaves a comment and says, I really enjoyed this show. I'm surprised you only have 1,000 likes. or somebody, or the recurring commenter, Anamita Copperhead, shout outs on Rumble. The recurring commenter that comes and drops a comment on every single video, and it's just one person, but they do it out of their heart, bro. That moment, bro. You changed, you impacted, you did a ripple in the energy in people's subconscious. And then they're going to take that message and say it to somebody else, regardless if they share the show or not. You made a wave. You're a difference in the world. It's huge, man. And what you're doing, it's fucking courageous, bro. Mad love and respect. And I pray that we have to have you off more often. We can't be waiting 6 months to get you back on again, bro. We got to do it again New Year's, okay?
Busy,
Because his stardom, he's so busy all the time.
No, it's just I do actually have a job during the week. I work for myself, but I got to split my brain in half. Paying attention to what I do during the week, and then at night I can get all weird. But the positivity is infectious. Facebook knows this. In fact, one of my cards is all about the Facebook experiment and how they were able to basically spread stress and depression at the push of a button. Well, the opposite is true. Like you said, look, anybody listening, make comments. I mean, think of this. We are all, me, you, anybody that's doing this, we're all alone. We don't have a team behind us.
We don't.
The audience is our team. So make
1,000%.
our day. Okay, leave a comment. Be nice. Okay, it really does go a long way, and it makes that next day's breakfast taste better.
Yo, be the collectible. Oh,
yeah, make yourself collectible.
That's fucking awesome, dog.
Make yourself worth having.
Make yourself worth having, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Ooh, what is this?
Oh, I was just going to show a couple of quick previews for Series 3. I'm about 40 subjects deep. I'm not going to show you all 40, but we're going to talk about Wellington House. I don't know if you, the man on the left is Uncle Sam. Well, did you know that he was directly influenced by the man on the right? That is a propaganda poster from England during World War I. And British propaganda created Uncle Sam. Okay? And that came from a group called Wellington House. We're going to talk about aluminum in your food, in your vaccines, and what it does.
That's a very popular subject nowadays.
Yeah, so the subjects are going to range all over the place. We're going to stay with Big Pharma and the Merck's HPV vaccine.
Yo, that art's fucking awesome, dude.
Oh,
whoa.
Yeah. I'm not holding back, but oh shoot, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's make that better. And then we'll go into the past and we'll look into the Weather Underground and how they blew up the Capitol building. This is years before January 6th, but people tend to forget about that. And some of those same people have went into higher office and influenced our own education system.
Days of Rage.
This one is about the Ping Fan camp in China that the Japanese ran, all those nasty, awful human experiments, like infecting people with disease, cutting babies out, drowning people, freezing them to death, cutting off limbs. And through Operation Paperclip, we brought those Japanese scientists over to the United States.
Voila!
Oh, that's a good story. Well, it's a sad story. We're going to get
Pegasus.
we're going to get into the Pegasus software that basically has worked its way into pretty much everybody's device. And the firm that created it is from Israel. So,
wait,
sorry.
That's a great topic.
Oh yeah. And then all those people that got let out of jail after the Summer of Love riots, well, they were defended by this group, the National Lawyers Guild, and they were founded in the 30s by communists, and they are a bunch of lawyers that openly despise America, and they use their skills at law to free criminals, and that's how looters and murderers get off scot-free. We're going to talk about Michael Aquino. He was the head of the Satanic Church, and he also wrote an important paper called PSYOP, and it's a way to modernize warfare. And then we have to throw in some Rothschilds. Lionel Nathan is important. He's responsible for Britain's acquisition of the Suez Canal, and he had a huge impact on cotton production in the South during the Civil War. And then
Stuff that goes over people's heads, man.
Well,
but you present it in a very fun way.
Yeah, this is, hey, these are deep dive subjects. I want people to do deeper research. Nelson Rockefeller in the 60s, in the 50s, and even in the 40s conquered South America. There's a big, giant, dog-choking book called Thy Will Be Done, and it's all about how Nelson Rockefeller and the State Department pretty much destroyed South America.
Wow.
This one details how they influenced the film industry. I have a long story on that.
Lights, camera, conquest.
That's right. In fact, if you know Carmen Miranda is the lady who wore fruit on her head back in the day. You would not know who she was if it wasn't for Nelson Rockefeller. Just a tease. Oh, this will blow your mind, man. If you can do an entire show on this one topic. It's called the Kyle Bingaman Amendment. And tucked away in the National Defense Authorization Act during Clinton's administration was this little tiny provision. And what it does is it limits the satellite resolution over one particular country. Which country do you think it is?
Don't fucking lie to me, dog.
I'm not lying, dude.
Israel?
Yes. 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 It's insane. Okay, like only one. Oh, we can't see anything here. Turn your satellites down to pixelated resolution.
This has to be bullshit, bro. Wait,
no, dude, it's a real deal, man. It's the
what?
Yes.
Okay. Wait. Continue, please. Kyle Bingaman. That's retarded, bro.
Oh,
If
man,
that's you gonna open up, dude.
I know. I saw that in I was audibly gasping. I'm like, what? Okay. All right. And then we're going to talk about hate speech and how those laws,
God, you're right.
How it's pretty much decimated the livelihood of thousands of people, not just in the United States, but more importantly, Europe. And then this fella, he was one of the big heads at the Pentagon, and after he retired, he formed a group you might have heard of called the Carlyle Group. And they pretty much introduced Wall Street to the Pentagon during the Iraq and Afghanistan wars. Dirtbag. Whoops. I'm almost done here and I'll quit shoot.
But before you continue, guys, Kyle Bingaman Amendment is fucking real.
Okay,
I know.
right, well, you're gonna miss the spelling on that, so make sure you get the KYL. Right.
KYL. Kill Bingaman.
That's one way to look at it. Yeah.
Oh,
and then
God.
we have to sprinkle in some more Rothschilds. This is obviously the big man himself, the guy responsible for financing the creation of Israel inside of Palestine through wine vineyards. And then Daniel Ludwig. Never heard of this guy, have you?
Never.
Daniel Ludwig was one of the richest guys in the United States, worked as a freight manager for the Rockefeller family, and he owned a chunk of Brazil the size of Connecticut.
Whoa.
And it had towns, it had schools, it had grocery stores, had everything. And to this day, that area is one of the worst slums in the world. Okay. His story is pretty interesting. And then Cecil Rhodes. He is foundational to understanding the creation of the Anglo-American establishment. If anybody is new to any of this kind of history, then I would recommend starting with Cecil Rhodes. Okay. And through his last will and testaments that got us involved in World War I, went into World War II, British influence in the creation of America's CIA, to our current day Five Eyes mass surveillance grid. All of this interconnected Britain, America relationship really begins with Cecil Rhodes. Then, because we talked about Carlucci, we have to talk about the Carlyle Group. And yes, I baked cookies. And yes, I decorated them like an American flag. And yes, I buried it in an ant pile. So, yeah, I do everything, man. Okay.
That's fucking hard.
I bake cookies for these, dude. Okay. I'm.
The passion behind it, man, is freaking
man.
gorgeous, bro.
Yeah. And then we have another mass surveillance program brought to you by the boys in Israel called Kangaroo. And this one's a little more sinister because it can infect your device without you even giving any permission. Okay. And that's about it on the tease for Series 3.
Top 3 that I liked right here were Pegasus, Kangaroo. Oh, by the way, the fucking Pegasus art, it's amazing. All of these are freaking, like, the art is top notch, bro. It's leveling up. I fucking love it. And then you have the Kyle Bingaman. You know what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. You gotta look it up. God damn.
It's really like maybe 5 sentences buried in the Defense Authorization Act during Clinton's administration. It's a quick read. It takes no time. And
I cannot believe.
And that just, I mean, now obviously things have changed since then, but yeah, it's easy to find. I mean, like I said before, all of this has been written down. It's all there. You know,
I don't want to be an ugly dickhead here, but all of my friends have been telling me that the guys with the funny hats are in charge of everything, and I was like, "You being black-pilled, bro. Leave them alone." And
well, you know, those of us that have been, you know, look, I don't know about you, but I grew up reading about all of this long ago. Not to the microscopic level I am now, but it's kind of depressing when you can say that you don't stand for a government and somehow that gets misinterpreted into a group of people. And that's not the same thing, but that's the catch. You know, one quick thing, I don't think I have any artwork for it, but we are going to explore the idea of mercury poisoning. And mercury poisoning it's been going on since, oh gosh, the middle of the 19th century. There used to be products you could get, like teething powder for your baby, and you'd rub it in their mouth, and it was loaded with mercury, and the children would succumb to death, and they'd have neurological symptoms that are similar to autism. Okay. You've seen pictures of deformities of Civil War soldiers, and you think it's because they've been shot in the face. No, it's because they were loading their cheeks up with these bombs that were loaded with mercury as sort of a cure-all for, like, you know, being tired. So I do explore the topic because the point is that there's this debate that's been raging about, oh, vaccines cause autism. Okay, now that debate was created artificially by Congress in, I believe it was 2011, I think. There was a congressional investigation on vaccines, and mercury was brought up. And it was during that investigation that they created the debate of vaccines causing autism, and that's false. It's the way a fact checker tries to say something is false. They change the argument. And so the argument should be that mercury can cause neurological problems. But that's not how it's presented, is it? See? It's the magic trick. We just change the words, and we change the argument.
Ladies and gentlemen, and on that note, that is James from Plunder World trading card game. Make sure you check him out.
Firepower.
That's right. He is the, what you call it, electric murdering panther.
Man, I'm the electric death panther that stalks the halls of these fluffy bunny conventions. I scare parents and I make kids get freaked out if they get caught with these at school.
That's fucking right. It's like electric acid lava to your face. I fucking love it. Yo, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, make sure you check him out. Find him on the description of the show. He's also on Instagram and on TikTok. And I think you have a TikTok, right? Wherever the fuck. Everywhere else. He has the content, and he also has the moving pieces for an amazing trading card game. Look it up. Buy some today. Drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. That allows other people to enjoy the show as much as I enjoy making it. Thank you, James.
You're welcome.